If you've made it to mid-stakes, let me be clear. You already have talent. You've proven you can study the game, apply strategies, and beat your player pools. You've likely climbed the micro stakes, battled through the smaller stakes, and proven that you belong in tougher lineups. That's no small achievement. But here's the frustrating truth. Talent and strategy won't carry you all the way. The reason you're stuck now likely isn't due to your lack of solver knowledge. It's something much deeper. Once you get to mid-stakes, there are two main things that keep players stuck. The first of those is your mindset. On the surface, it's easy to blame variance, a bad run, or a tougher player pool. But often, what really holds players back is happening internally. After working with thousands of poker players, I've identified 4 key mindset leaks. The first leak is the identity ceiling. This is where you don't fully believe that you belong at the higher stakes. The gap between the player you are now and the player you need to become creates hesitation or self-sabotage, and you prefer to play it safe. This fear becomes a ceiling. You may not put the effort in to find out if you're good enough, or you may be well rolled and still not take the shot. Leak number 2 is tilt and emotions. The daily swings of poker affect you. A series of bad beats, coolers, or mistakes has you losing the ability to think rationally. You often experience this as frustration, anger, or brain fog, which leads you to make more mistakes than you usually would. The impact on your game could be that you play more aggressively and call down wider, or you could be more risk averse and play more passively. Either way, you're not playing your best game. Leak number 3 is lack of resilience. Downswings break you instead of strengthening you. Big setbacks feel personal, and long losing streaks feel like proof that you don't have what it takes. Instead of using the downswing to improve your game, it slowly breaks you down. Without the results to back it up, your confidence gets lower and self-doubt gets bigger. Then the 4th most common mindset leak is poor perspective. You zoom in on short-term results, one bad session, one bad week, and you lose sight of the bigger picture. Your mind creates a story narrative of why you are running so bad and how this isn't fair. This makes bad patches of variance even more unbearable. It has you fixating on things out of your control, your results, your opponents, variance, and not enough attention on the things that are within your control. This leads you to playing worse poker and sometimes avoiding playing altogether. So those are the 4 most common mindset leaks. Now, it's important to note that you don't need to be suffering from all of those. Most likely, some of those cause you no problems. Maybe tilt doesn't get to you anymore, or you've built resilience through years of grinding. But here's the catch. Even one mindset leak is enough to unravel everything. Think of it like a chain. The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. You can have 3 strong chains, but if one is weak, the whole thing will break at that point. So the main problem you're having here is you haven't built a bulletproof mindset. And without that, you'll keep holding yourself back or sabotaging yourself when it matters most. Take a moment to reflect if any of these mindset leaks are currently affecting you. We'll come back to how to fix those very soon. Now, if your mindset is strong and none of those leaks relate to you, there's a very good chance that you have the second type of leaks, which are performance leaks. Again, there are 4 key performance leaks that keep players stuck. Here are the 4 most common performance leaks that keep poker players stuck. The first is a lack of focus. Your attention drifts, you get distracted, you autopilot, you notice that you can't concentrate late in your sessions. I don't have to go into how costly that is for you, but you know it costs you a lot of edge. The second leak is a lack of energy. You play tired, drained, or you burn out. Poor sleep, bad recovery, inconsistent lifestyle habits make you feel like you never quite have the energy you need. Energy is the fuel of performance, and a lot of the time, you're running on a half-empty tank. The third leak is inability to regulate stress. Poker is incredibly stressful. It takes a lot out of your body. If you're not able to recover from that, to shut off the stress response, you very often end up chronically stressed, which means that you're not adapting to the stress you're going under and your performance starts to get compromised. If you don't have tools to release and reset your nervous system, you very quickly end up overwhelmed by life stresses, poker stresses, and unable to switch off. Then the 4th leak is a lack of presence or a scattered mind. You're not fully there. Your mind gets fixated on past mistakes, ruminating on them, playing them over in your head. You get anxious about the future or thinking about what might happen next. You're half in the hand, half somewhere else. And in poker, that split can be very costly. So take a moment to reflect on if any of those performance leaks are affecting you. And just like mindset leaks, you don't need to be suffering from all of them. Even one performance leak is enough to derail your whole game. Think of performance like a Formula One car. In order to run at top speed, all parts of the car need to be working well together. It only takes one thing to fail for the car to stop working. That's why you can be full of energy, but have scattered focus, and that's enough to cost you. You can be present and focused, but unable to regulate stress, and soon you break down. Your main problem here is you're missing a performance system. The routines and habits that allow you to play your A game every day. So before we go into solutions, reflect on where your biggest leak is right now. Is it with mindset or is it with performance? Because the first step to fixing a leak is knowing exactly where it is. Now I have some good news. Every leak you have can be fixed by training a specific skill. And when you train that skill, you plug the leak. To fix all of your leaks, we need to work on building a bulletproof mindset and a performance system. So let's break those down. A bulletproof mindset. Sounds great. And in order to have a mindset that can handle everything that poker throws your way, you have work to do. Fortunately, there are 4 skills you can improve that will fix your mindset leaks. So let's dive into those. The first leak fix is self-awareness. The problem you're having is an identity gap. Deep down, you don't fully believe that you belong at the higher stakes. So you hesitate, you play it small, you second guess yourself. Self-awareness fixes this by getting you to remove your limiting beliefs, get in touch with your values, and start becoming a 2.0 version of you who can thrive at the higher stakes. Leak fix number 2 is emotional regulation. The problem you've been having here is tilt and emotional swings. You let bad beats, coolers, or mistakes drag you into playing reactive poker. Emotional regulation is the skill you need to correlate your emotional responses to your environment. As a poker player, this is so key. You need to realize what your triggers are, what your responses are, and working to get those back in alignment. If not, your primal reactions will continue to get triggered at the poker tables. Leak fix number 3 is resilience. The problem you've been having here is a lack of resilience. Big downswings eat away at your confidence, and you start to question if you're going to be able to get through it. The skill of resilience allows you to get stronger from adversity, to bounce back from setbacks as a better version of yourself. And no matter what happens, you use that as fuel to get better and keep improving. And leak fix number 4 is perspective. The problem you've been having here is a poor perspective. You've been too zoomed in, too affected by short-term swings, session results, and it creates you this emotional roller coaster that you get stuck on. Perspective fixes this as it gets you to zoom out and see the long game. It gets you to stop focusing on things that you don't control and put all your attention and energy on the things you do control. It allows you to see the bigger picture from a higher vantage point. If you train these 4 leak fixes, you'll have a mindset that can handle anything that poker throws your way. A true bulletproof mindset. Now, even if you plug all these mindset leaks, that alone isn't enough to get you consistent results. Mindset is only half of the equation. You can have a rock solid identity, regulate your emotions, bounce back from setbacks, and keep a good perspective. But if your performance system breaks down, you won't be able to play your A game when it matters most. That's why the second piece is just as important. So now let's have a look at your performance system. Again, there are 4 key skills you need to improve on, which will directly repair the 4 most common performance leaks. Leak fix number 1, focus. The problem you've been having is a lack of focus. Your attention drifts, you slip into autopilot, or you lose your concentration deep into a session. Focus is like a muscle you can train. When you build it, you learn to direct your attention where you want it to be. You learn to hold your attention on the poker tables, and you don't let distractions catch you off guard. Leak fix number 2 is energy optimization. The problem you've been having is low energy. You're tired, drained, or burnt out, which means you're ready to bring your best self to the tables. The fix you need is energy optimization. By managing your nutrition, your fitness, your recovery, and your lifestyle, you give yourself your fuel to consistently perform at your best, not just on those random good days. Leak fix number 3 is stress mastery. The problem you've been having is an inability to regulate stress. Pressure builds up from poker and life, and it soon starts to creep into your game. Stress mastery is about having the right tools to regulate and reset your nervous system. You learn to ramp up your activation when you need it, but equally important to turn it down and shut it off so you can recover when you don't. And the 4th leak fix is presence. The problem you've been having here is a scattered mind. Part of you is ruminating on past mistakes, caught up in other things, and you can't give your full attention to the moment. Presence anchors you in the hand you're playing. It gets you to be open, receptive, and intuitive, to be playful when you're at the tables and not get bogged down by your mind's chatter. If you work on these 4 leak fixes, you'll have a performance system that allows you to play your best poker every time you sit down to grind. It will now be systemized. It won't be left to chance. So here's the most important thing to take away from this video. Every leak comes from a skill you haven't yet mastered. This is exactly why I built the Poker Athlete Framework. If you're struggling with tilt, there's nothing wrong with you. you haven't developed the skill of emotional regulation. If you can't focus, it's because your focus muscle hasn't been trained. If stress keeps breaking you down and you lack energy, it's because you haven't yet got the tools to regulate yourself and shut things down. And just like your technical game, these skills aren't some inherent traits. They can be trained, improved, and progressed over time. Think about how you approach your strategy leaks. When you find a leak in your game, you understand where it's coming from. You start to make changes to your game, and you put in reps with that new approach until that becomes a part of your game. Your mindset and performance work exactly the same way. Every mindset you're experiencing at the tables, whether it's mindset or performance, is coming from a skill that you haven't yet developed. And once you've identified the leak, you know exactly which skill to start training. So I've covered a lot of different leaks in this video today. Now, what I would like you to do is to reflect on which ones relate most to you. So take a pause and have a little think where your biggest leaks are now. Is it mindset? Could be doubts about your identity, emotions you can't control, a lack of resilience, or a narrow perspective. Or is it performance? Do you struggle to focus? Do you run out of energy? Do you cave under high stress? Or fail to stay present? I'd love to know where you need the most help right now. So let me know in the comments, either comment mindset or performance, so I can see where you guys need the most help. If you want to give me even more context, that would be great, and allows me to know which type of videos you will get the most benefit from going forward. You're probably not struggling with all of these. There's probably one or two key leaks that are causing you all your problems right now. So I want to remind you again of the most important thing to take away from this video. Every leak is caused by a lack of a skill that you can train. Just like you've done countless times in your technical game, you can spot the weaknesses, work on them, and turn them into a strength. That's the path forward. That's how you break through the mid-stakes wall. So take a moment right now to be honest with yourself. What's the one leak you need to fix first? Let me know in the comments, and I'll have more coming in future videos on exactly how to fix each leak.